I've got it up. Let's see.
I got him, dude. I got him,
It says
ladies and gentlemen.
waiting for us. You shouldn't be waiting on anything.
Yeah, I'm right here.
I'm here. Where's it going? It says
Quit.
stream. Someone go to our YouTube page. Are we streaming somewhere?
I don't know. Let's look.
Oh, we are live.
We're live.
We're live.
Did it play the intro?
No, I still have to cue that and everything.
Oh,
Okay, cool. I don't know what happened to the other one. I don't know why it didn't go, but I mean, it is what it is. Let's play the intro. 10 p.m. ish is the key. 10 p.m. ish. All right. We're learning.
so
Bear
we're
with
still working on the
us.
kinks.
All right. I haven't scheduled a live YouTube broadcast in a long time, so we're just having some fun. Welcome back to the To Be Fair Fantasy Football Podcast. As always, I am one of your hosts, Johnny, with Chris to my
What's up?
left and Nick below me. We're going to talk about
The bottom.
a good and bad week 5. Bad if you're a Bengals fan, good if you like a lot of other teams. But a good week 5 for a lot of high-powered offenses around the league. But thanks for joining us. Check out all of our social medias. We're starting to post clips.
That's right.
We're on X because that's X, not Twitter. We're on YouTube Shorts. We're on Instagram. It's all at To Be Fair Football Pod. We're on Spotify. I'm trying to get us on Apple Podcasts, but Apple's got that firewall that I'm trying to kick down, and they're just not having it. They're just not having it. I'm working on it though. But all that aside, we'll get right into it so we don't go long this week. We'll start
Right.
as we always do with injuries. So Chris, take us away.
Okay. Well, I think the plan was to accompany these with games, right?
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. We're making.
Kind of
I'm
combine
all
those.
frazzled because we didn't start at 10 o'clock.
Idiots.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
You're good.
All right.
Introduced Thursday night's game, and then we'll get into it.
I gotta pull up the doc. Thursday night, 49ers. I hardly know her at the Seahawks. Oh boy. Does anybody have the old doc pulled up?
From last week, I don't.
Yeah.
I can pull it up really quick. What do you want to know?
I just want to know. Did anybody have a good record on their picks off the top of your head? We'll
look.
come back.
Oh.
We'll come back.
We'll come back.
With week 1 and week 2's record combined. How about that next week? We'll start keeping track.
Yeah. Wait, where did you keep track at? I'm looking at it now. I don't see
Nick started putting letters down. He was keeping track.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
who picked who?
it.
We'll look at it later.
Yeah, we'll look at it later so we won't spend too much time here.
Gotcha.
Week 1, 49ers, Seahawks. We got any injuries there? Or
Not
updates?
really.
Other
I
than
mean, basically,
CMC.
yeah, CMC. I've seen reports. There's a potential week 7 timeline. That's kind of best case scenario. I'm willing to bet if I'm the 49ers, you probably just hold out till bye week. Jordan Mason's been serviceable. Granted, you haven't looked great as an offense. They're kind of in the same situation the Bengals are right now, where you have a lot of tough losses, and record-wise, you're not where you want to be. So, obviously, if McCaffrey's healthy, you're going to want him back. But for now, I mean, maybe week 7, but I mean, that's best case scenario. So you're still without him. But other than that, I mean, everybody else is playing. Jordan Mason, George Kittle played this week. Debo played, but didn't do well. On the other side, Kenneth Walker came back from that oblique injury, put another good week together. DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Tyler Lockett, all guys you're going to keep playing. So,
yep, I agree. I think I'm taking the Seahawks in this one. Just because I don't really trust the 49ers right now. I think they're too up and down a little bit. I think Geno is on a tear. And Kenneth Walker, if you feed him the ball, he's going to get touchdowns. So that's the key.
Niners all the way.
I think I'm
I
with
have
Johnny on this
faith.
one. I just
I
don't.
have
Seattle, I think, takes it out.
Niners all the way.
All right. Well, that is an easy one. We'll go on to the Sunday slate. And every time, this is my vow to you people as an American citizen who is voting. Today was the last day to register to vote in this great state of Kentucky. Yesterday was the last day to register to vote in Ohio. So screw you people if you didn't register to vote, all right? But as a United States American citizen, I should not have to wake up early to watch your stupid across the pond freaking football games. 9:30 on a Sunday is ridiculous, all right? We already been over this. That is the Lord's Day, and I am in church. I shouldn't have to pull it up while I'm in church trying to lead people in worship to get all these football stats. My watch is buzzing like crazy. I had to follow in my pastor's footsteps, take my watch off because it's going crazy. I can't even focus because my watch is going ballistic. All right, stop with the 9:30 games. I'm sick of it. Jacksonville, Chicago. You can't even give us a good game. It's Jacksonville and Chicago. Trevor Lawrence is going to throw 3 interceptions. That's what we're going to see.
Probably, honestly. Jacksonville very well may be in the realm of moving over to England at some point. If
Might
that
as
ever
well.
becomes a thing. They have played an England game the last, 36 years, it feels like. I don't know how long it's
Bengals
really
over
been.
there.
Yeah, but kind of the same thing. Neither one of those teams have really a lot of injuries on the offensive side as far as fantasy value goes. ETN did pop up on the injury report literally today, saying it's a shoulder. He injured that shoulder actually going into last week, but played. So seems like Doug Peterson, quote unquote, said he took a good pop, is what his words were, in the shoulder. So whatever that means, if he played this week, I don't know. Tank Bigsby balled, like 100-something rushing yards, 2 touchdowns.
That's what I was.
So
I'm.
We'll get to that.
I'm gonna ask again. I will ask this every week until something changes. Are we still playing ETN no matter what?
unless you
I
drafted
think
like 2 running backs or 3 running backs to start your fantasy draft, probably.
Javonte
I think
Williams
he's a flex right now.
over ETN.
No,
Matchup depends on the matchup.
Javonte's been bad.
Jordan Mason.
Jordan Mason.
Okay, I gotta find the sweet spot here. Gotta find this. Devin Singletary.
Matchup dependent.
Okay, so we're somewhere.
I'm
We're
probably
somewhere.
still playing ETN.
We're somewhere around. He's in the Singletary Javonte camp though.
ETN's been bad. Okay, I'm not gonna sugarcoat that.
Yeah.
Was this week good? Do you if you? I don't know if you had him anywhere. If you know what he did, was it a good week for him?
No.
Okay, he had 12 fantasy points. Not great, but that's
Flex.
serviceable.
Flex play.
Yeah, sure, but my point is that's serviceable. If that's your RB2, I mean, with the running back, Brees Hall had 2 weeks in a row of less than 5.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah,
but is it
it's
time
just-
to have the conversation about Brees Hall?
My point is just that I don't think ETN. It's not been good. He hasn't scored a lot of touchdowns, but I don't. You're playing him. I think you have to.
We do have an injury between those two teams. Evan Ingram, he was
Was supposed to come back this week.
was
Was
game
what
time
we were told.
decision with a hamstring, and then he
It's true.
flopped. I had him in
Yep.
my lineup. Thank God I pulled him because I played Tucker Kraft and Jordan Love. That's his new favorite target, is Tucker Kraft. So I'll take it. But
Yeah. So Evan Ingram, we're gonna say it again, should be back this week. But
if he plays, you
That-
can start him.
problem is absolutely. Problem is there's a lot of guys this week that are in that could be back, and it's just a matter of either pain tolerance or the progression of the injury. We'll get into him obviously, but
I say
Devontae Adams,
yeah.
are not. He's one that could play. You have Devonta Smith, AJ Brown, both could play. I mean, a lot of guys in that bubble that theoretically could play, but we don't know.
I say all that to say, hey, I'm taking Chicago.
Same.
I'm gonna go Jags.
Caleb Williams made
Ew.
some actual good throws. I am not a Caleb Williams fan. I don't think he's a good quarterback, as I said last week. He made some good throws to DJ Moore down the field.
It was the Panthers.
It was the Panthers, but still, he made the throw.
Yes.
He threw
Sure.
the ball instead of running around in circles in the backfield.
Yeah. No, I agree.
We're trending in the right direction.
I only say the Jags because they literally lost last minute to the Texans and
Colts.
pretty much 2 weeks ago.
Oh, you're right.
You played the Texans 2 weeks ago, then you play the Colts this week. Both those games, they looked better. Offensively, they looked okay. Defensively, they didn't look as bad. It was Joe Flacco. We know that Joe Flacco is the new Ryan
Goat.
Fitzpatrick.
He's
Yep.
the goat, yeah.
So my point is, I'll take the Jags. I think they may have put together some wins here, or some things, and figured it out potentially.
Chris, would you like to suck brick when it comes to DeAndre Swift?
I was wrong. We had a side bet for those who didn't know that Nick was debating on playing Swift or Dontavian Wicks in his flex spot.
I
And
chose right.
I said Swift.
Yep, I leaned Wicks.
Swift.
I was wrong.
Swift had 20. Wicks had 4.
It was
Wasn't
not a
even
good game
close.
for Wicks.
No.
Nope.
He dropped a couple, but he also just wasn't getting. I don't
Didn't
think
get
he
targeted that
had, yeah,
much.
I don't think he had a ton of targets.
No, it wouldn't have mattered. Even if he would have caught all those, I don't know that it rockets him to 20 points.
We're moving along. All right, on to Washington. We're in the 1 p.m. slot. Washington at Baltimore. Washington has become a juggernaut. I'm sick of it. Although I hope they beat Baltimore, that will keep the AFC North a little more open for my beloved Bengals. Any injuries there?
Not really. Austin Eckler came back from an injury, so he'll play again. Brian Robinson was game time decision. He ended up playing, so he'll be okay. And then receiver wise, you just Terry McLaurin. That's it. Don't care about anybody else.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's fine. And then on the other side of the ball, Ravens.
Nobody.
You're Derrick Henry,
Lamar.
Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers is probably a flex.
Are you putting Nelson
Mark
Aguilar in the flex?
No. Stop.
Never.
Are you putting Bateman in the flex?
Stop.
Nope. Neither one of those guys. You just punt those guys as far as you possibly can and hope that
Drop them.
Yeah, they're not even worth being on your roster. All right, that's an
Nope.
easy.
try to package trade them, put a kicker in there, and see if you can convince some idiot league mate. That's a trade.
I'm gonna take Washington.
Same.
Dude, yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
want
take him. I'm gonna take him
to-
dirty.
That may be a hard pick, but I'm gonna take Washington because screw the Ravens.
To the
And
moon.
also, yeah,
Moving on.
they look good.
Cleveland,
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia's winning, so that's easy.
Yep.
Injuries though, Philadelphia's wide receiver room is riddled with injuries. Are
But
they
should
ever
be
coming
back.
back? They're all coming back.
Well,
How-
AJ Brown was basically so all of the reports said that he technically could have come back 2 weeks ago, but week 4 was your week going into the bye week, so they took 2 extra weeks to just really ensure that hamstring was good to go. So again, I said it before, should be back, but he could have already been back. Devonta Smith concussion protocol. You would have missed last week for sure, but it was a bye, so it worked out. And depending on how that progression goes, you very well may play this week.
Nick, did you have a question?
How confident are we in the Philadelphia Eagles wide receivers going up against Cleveland's secondary?
Not
you start 'em.
confident. I think you have to start him.
You're not confident?
No, I mean, I think Cleveland still has a decent defense. I think you start the receivers no matter what because it's AJ Brown.
Well,
right.
AJ Brown, yes, but Devonta Smith.
Who has
if
Cleveland
he
played this
plays.
week? Or this
This
year, I
year?
mean. Not this week. Yeah, sorry.
They played the Raiders.
Okay.
I don't know.
They
Well,
lost.
do we know what they did?
Hold on, I can pull them up.
My point is, I don't really know that Cleveland's defense has actually been good.
They just are always seen as lockdown. So I figured their secondary last year was incredible.
All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. They gave up 33 to the Cowboys, so not a good start. They gave,
Cowboys are good though.
they gave up 13 to the Jags, but the Jags are terrible. They gave up
Okay.
21 to the Giants.
Giants kind of good.
Giants are kind of good. They gave up 20 to the Raiders. The Raiders are not good.
Raiders were without Devontae Adams.
But Brock Bowers is eating targets and
Sure.
actually scoring. And then they gave up 34 to the Commanders. So it's a hard
Play them.
gauge because they're playing
Gotta
really
play 'em.
high powered
Okay.
offenses and really bad
Wait.
offenses.
Who were those teams? Do them in order again, because here's what you need to figure out. What are the passing yards?
Yeah, Cowboys.
So you had Dak Prescott week 1. He threw 1 touchdown, 179 yards. So not a bunch.
All right, you got Jags.
Okay, Trevor Lawrence. Let's see where he is. Let's see. Hold on, I gotta get him pulled up.
What was the next week? I'll look at the next one.
Giants.
Trevor Lawrence, other than he threw for 220 yards, no touchdowns, but
Okay.
220. That's a pretty good number.
So then the Raiders, Chris.
Okay. Gardner Minshew.
Daniel Jones for 236 yards,
How many touchdowns?
2 touchdowns.
Okay, so that's the best performance against them.
Okay. Cleveland, Gardner Minshew threw 130.
Okay.
Not great.
Terrible. And then the Commanders.
Jane Daniels did 238 and a touchdown.
Okay, so they're really not giving up an ungodly amount of air yards or touchdowns.
Loser.
220 yards, 230 yards is
It's
like the max.
It's
they're giving
average.
up.
So
Yeah.
that you play them both either way. Brown for sure. I don't think.
Devonta is a flex play for me.
Yeah, I agree. And
Dude, I'd put him in your wide receiver 2 spot.
do you play?
Here goes Chris Ryden.
I mean, Goddard's gonna have to be played anyways. The tight ends suck either way.
There's Chris. Riding Devonta Smith.
Hey,
Dude,
Sky diving on it.
He's good. I don't understand what you don't like about him. I don't understand. You're talking about flex position, which you just put through Travis Etienne as a flex. Who are you starting in this between those two?
Devonta.
Travis Etienne or Devonta Smith?
Devonta.
Okay, is it close?
I give the slight edge to Devonta.
You said slight edge, but Johnny shook his head like it wasn't close.
I'm gonna give Devonta an extra 4 points.
But like compared to my other wide receiver twos, he's not close to them.
I agree.
That's the
Who are your
problem.
other wide receiver 2s?
He's like in this weird limbo. Like, well, like it depends how stacked your team is. My wide receiver 2 is Mike Evans. So it's like I'm running Stephon Diggs and Mike Evans. He's not even close to either one of them.
Okay, but Devonta Smith in his 3 games he's played had 15 points, 20 points, 15 points
It's
in fantasy.
it's good, but AJ Brown was out for all those, except for
Not
one,
week
right?
1. Yeah.
So it's hard. It's hard to. Either way, you could be right, but it's hard to get a good feel either way, just because nobody's been on the field at the same time. consistently.
Unpredictable.
Yeah,
I
basically
don't like it.
unpredictable. I say you're playing them, no
Yeah.
matter what.
But flex. Moving on.
Do we all pick Philly?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's easy.
Got,
Arizona, Green Bay.
I'm taking Arizona, and I think Big Marv is gonna pop off this week.
W. Chris.
I'm gonna say Green Bay. Yeah, I'm over here on the other side. I'm gonna say Green Bay. I think Jair Alexander, has he been playing?
No,
He-
he was on the sideline last week.
I say
Oh,
he missed
that happened.
he missed the Minnesota game as well. So
I don't know if he's coming back or not.
if he plays, Marv's had got a tough day. He's a good corner. If he doesn't play, Marv eats.
I mean,
I think Jordan Love in that offense right the ship
Marv's
this week.
eating no matter what here.
He very well may, but I still think
I think it's just gonna be 33-30. I don't think either one of these teams are gonna
Yeah, it's going to
play
be
a
a high-scoring
particularly
game.
good defense here.
I
Jordan
have
Love's
this.
gonna throw
I have a
2
weird
picks.
feeling that it's going to be one of those like the Cardinals just beat the Niners. I have this weird feeling that it's just going to be one of those like you're coming off this like really big high win and you're just going to like have this really bad follow-up week where like it just doesn't
Yeah,
work.
but they beat the Niners with a really bad scheme apparently, or either the best defensive coverage ever because what Marv had like 6 points or
Dude,
something.
he had like 9
So
targets
either
and
he
like
was like
2
double
catches.
covered all day, or they couldn't see him open, and I find it hard to believe he can't get open.
Yeah.
So something
Um,
wasn't working. So either they correct that and he goes off, or they just do what they did to Jamar week 1 and 2, and they just double him the whole time.
Right.
I don't think there's any injuries.
There are some. I mean, Romeo
Oops.
Dobbs had a suspension this week.
Oops. You're
You
right.
want to pay attention to. Upon research, apparently what's the reason he got suspended was because he was just dipping practice. And by that, he was dipping practice, I guess, because he was upset about his role in the offense.
He's like the wide
He wants,
receiver 3.
dipping.
What does he want?
I don't know, he wants more utilization apparently, and blah blah blah, whatever. So it is what it is.
Speaking of wide
Dobbs, I
receivers,
don't
where is Watson?
hurt high ankle sprain,
He's he,
so he probably won't play because this was week 1.
okay.
Usually high ankle sprains are minimum of usually 3 is what it tends to be.
Would be surprised.
So he probably won't play this week.
Cool. We're on to Houston and New England. I'm taking Houston, no doubter.
Houston.
They blow them out. Nico
Houston.
Collins is
He left
considered.
the game week to week now. It was originally day to day, and immediately this like early this morning they said, "Just kidding, it's week to week now." So little unsettling. Day to day makes you
Probably.
think that it's just like pain tolerance. Week to week makes it seem like it might be a lingering thing
Yeah.
potentially. So not great, but doesn't really matter. I mean, if he plays, you're playing him. He's like the wide receiver 1 on the season right now, and if he doesn't play, you're still going to play Stephon either way. You're
Stephon
still going to play
Diggs eats.
Tank Dell maybe in your flex.
As soon as Nico went
Mixon,
out, hope he's okay. Stephon Diggs targets just skyrocketed. It was awesome. But obviously I hope Nico's all right.
yeah.
I like the Texans.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Joe Mixon.
Mixon probably is back. Yeah, I thought he was going to come back last week because he practiced and then he practiced one day in limited fashion on like Wednesday or Thursday, got to Friday and then decided not to practice. So I'm assuming this week after that sort of kind of practice thing he was doing, probably going to go this week.
Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. We have a potential quarterback change in the New England Patriots. They announced today they are looking at the rookie. Not official.
Drake May.
Not official.
You knew it was coming.
But they're looking at
That
him.
was the plan all along.
I mean, Jacoby Brissett was never meant to start an entire season. He's old. He's a journeyman. I don't really know.
Well, I mean, you drafted a quarterback at your number 3 pick or whatever it was. I mean, you're not going to. It's one thing to be the Falcons and draft a quarterback in the first round after you signed Kirk Cousins to a $180 million 4-year deal. But
yeah, I don't.
it's one of those like
I don't think.
you draft Drake May to play him.
I don't think
So
Drake May increases my likelihood of playing a single receiver on that team.
Yeah.
Hunter Henry maybe as your tight end if you're desperate.
Yeah.
And then
You're-
what do you do with Ramondre? Asked it last week.
He's in the ETN camp for me.
The problem is
He got
he's
20
had
points.
at least
He got
boom,
20 points this week.
he's had boom game. Yeah, well, 20 points on my bench because freaking what's his name came out, Gerard Mayo, and was like, oh, he's not going to start because he fumbles, so we're going to put Antonio Gibson, the guy who's known for fumbling, in.
Yeah. They also played the Dolphins, but they lost
Sure.
to the Dolphins, which is like why they're changing quarterback.
Yeah, I mean it's bad. It just made me mad that you go through what I realized literally the first 2 drives of the game that I made a mistake sitting Ramondre because they said Ramondre's not going to start as punishment for fumbling, and I thought, Antonio Gibson's going to be the main guy. Nope. What they meant by he's not going to start was they were going to put Antonio Gibson out there for the first 4 plays and then just play Ramondre the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So that's great.
I think you play him in your flex.
Yep.
Alrighty, we're moving on. We all picked, yeah. We got Tampa Bay at New
Pre-fired.
Orleans. Yeah, you freaked me out there. Tampa Bay at New Orleans. Gosh, Tampa Bay. Talk about a choke job of the century. Um,
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
I'm taking Tampa Bay because Derek Carr is doing his best Derek Carr impersonation and can't play consistently to save his life.
Yeah.
I
Poor
don't
guy.
understand how you can. They run this offense where Alvin Kamara will get 5 receptions for 100 yards and 3 touchdowns, and then they never do it again. And it's like, no team can stop it. No, why do you stop doing it randomly? I don't understand. It's extremely frustrating. I'm taking Tampa Bay. I think Baker Mayfield is playing the best football of his career, hands down. He looked awesome against who the crap? The Falcons. You're playing. I think you're playing Evans, Godwin, Mayfield.
You're probably playing White. You may even play Bucky Irving in your
I
flex.
don't think you play Derek Carr at this point, unless you're desperate.
Desperate or buys.
You play Alvin Kamara. You play Chris Olave, and if you're in a deep league or you're desperate or on a bunch of buys, you can play freaking
Shaheed.
Shaheed. Yeah,
Shaheed's good for at least 3 targets a game
today
that are like
he's
a 60-yard bomb.
probably
And
at 15 points already.
yep, it's one of those things that if your team is like really low floor and you need some volatility, you need some boom bust players to hopefully give you a big spike week. That's your guy. Shaheed is who you want to target.
Alec
But
Pierce.
3
yeah,
for 3,
sure.
134 yards and a touchdown. That was his stat line this
The
week.
UC GOAT.
I will say this historically matchup for Mike Evans has been bad
Well,
when Marshawn Lattimore
yeah,
plays. So keep an eye on that because every time Lattimore's played, Mike Evans has been like 3 catches for like 30 yards, and that's
Mike
it.
Evans ain't playing next week.
hot cross.
He's gonna get suspended.
buns.
Yeah. So if Lattimore's playing, he will follow Mike Evans and he will lock him down historically. So play Chris Godwin because Godwin's been balling as it is, and if they're
You're gonna-
gonna just
You're gonna play Godwin anyway.
yeah, I'm just saying like that's a
Yeah.
guy that I don't care how you get it done. I'm forcing him into my lineup
Now here's a guy.
anyway, man. John.
Jim.
Alrighty, who you taking? You taking
Tampa.
Tampa?
Tampa, yeah, it's
Okay.
not close either. Something to note with those teams: Taysom Hill, not playing tonight. Got a broken ribs is what they said. So
Got them ribs.
I'd be surprised if he plays again next week.
All right.
Johnny, who you taking?
I'm taking Tampa.
Tampa.
No, it's close. All right, last one of the 1:00 slot. We've got the Colts at the Titans. I'm taking the Colts. I don't care which quarterback plays. I'm taking the Colts. If
too.
Flacco plays by a million, if Richardson plays by a few,
3.
Dude, yeah, maybe if that.
Jonathan.
I'll take the Colts as well.
Jonathan Taylor was out this week. Any update on him?
Probably. So again, it's a high ankle sprain. The weird thing is, they labeled it a mild high ankle sprain, whatever that means.
Well, his popped
So-
up real late.
It was weird. It happened in the game. Obviously, you saw Trey Sermon come in 2 weeks ago. Not uncommon. High ankle sprains, like I said, normally it's about a 3-week time period. So unlikely he plays based off the timing. But when you come out and say mild, I don't know if that means that that's actually the case or if you're,
What?
yeah, I don't know if you're just hoping a guy like Jonathan Taylor, being as good as he is, can just kind of tough it out. A hurt Jonathan Taylor is
fine.
better than Trey Sermon. So
He'll be
I don't
fine.
know.
I think
If he
you-
plays,
He'll be
you
fine.
play him.
Yeah. You're still playing Michael Pittman, unfortunately. God rest his soul.
Dude.
Mm,
Unfortunately, if it's Flacco, he's good.
if it's Flacco, you're
He had
playing every
like 15.
receiver.
Yeah, he
If
had another
it's
15
Richardson,
points.
Yeah.
You're playing him in your flex if you're desperate.
Yep. Um,
Richardson, though, again to note, he was hurt, hip injury. They originally said he would miss no time, and he has now missed a week. So
lies.
How bad?
tell me sweet little lies.
Tennessee, I'm not playing a single Tennessee receiver. Not doing it. I'm not playing Ridley.
Ryan,
I'm
you're
not playing
playing.
D Hop. Not doing it.
If you
I
had
think
to
the
pick
only
one, it'd be
player.
Ridley, but I don't know that you really want to.
Yeah, the only player you're confidently playing is probably Pollard right now.
Yep.
Honestly, Tajay Spears hasn't been that bad either. I mean, it's not been
Yeah,
great.
but Pollard's
Pollard's
been a
been the
lot
better.
better.
Yeah, he's been way better. But I mean, if your running backs are hard to come by, especially if you did the zero RB strat or whatever, and you tried to hold out till round 10, I mean, that's what you got. It's playable.
Pain.
Pollard and Tajay went like back to back, so I mean,
Yeah.
Alrighty, that closes out the 1 o'clock slot. We're on to the 4:05. We've got the Chargers at the Broncos. I'm gonna say something else a little spicy. I think the Broncos win this one.
Don't get spicy.
I'm really low on the Chargers, and Bo Nix is starting to look all right.
I think you mean the Raiders.
What?
Did you say Raiders or Chargers?
Chargers?
Oh, I thought they played the Raiders.
I'm right? Chargers?
Maybe you are. Am I crazy?
let's look it up.
You might be right. You probably are. You have LAC. I don't doubt that, but I think
Well, who do the Raiders play?
they might have a bye. No, they played
Denver
Pittsburgh.
just played the Raiders this week.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
You're right.
Okay.
Sorry, that's what I was thinking
Yeah.
about.
Get this guy out of here.
I am
My
not
bad.
high on the Chargers. I think Bo Nix is heating up. He's won 3 in a row. He targets his receivers a million times. He throws so much. Sutton, unfortunately, doesn't catch any of them, but he throws them.
Well, Denver's defense is also really good.
Yeah. And the Chargers they just don't have the weapons.
Quentin Johnson and Lad McConkey, you're basically just fingers crossed they score a touchdown. J.K. Dobbins has been pretty good. I mean, you're probably playing him if you have him.
But that's their offense.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Chargers. I have faith. Herbo's gonna put the team on the back.
I do like Herbie fully loaded out there, but I think I'm going to take Bo Nix.
You guys are wrong. Chargers on top.
Any injuries there? What's
Herbert's got he's got the ankle injury, but I mean,
You've
2
been
weeks
rolling
in a
him
row,
out there.
I say, yeah, he's getting his wheelchair and
Poor guy.
just pumping himself full of acetaminophen or whatever he needs to get out there. So
Alrighty,
Got the Advil.
moving on to Pittsburgh at the Raiders. All right, now you got me all
we made it.
confused. I'm taking the Raiders. Devontae Adams
Ooh.
is not playing. Russell Wilson will start for Pittsburgh.
Is that official?
NBC made it all but official on the Sunday night.
So not 100%, but
But they basically said
99.
they talked to Russell Wilson and he was ready to go, and they talked to Mike Tomlin and he was ready to go, and Justin Fields didn't look great. I think you have to give Russell Wilson a chance at this point. Justin Fields just isn't generating a ton of offense, and George Pickens is not getting enough.
The problem is I just don't think it matters. That offense is bad no matter who you roll out there. Najee Harris has, other than the 1 year with Big Ben where he had 3,000 dump offs, been pretty inefficient. Jalen Warren's not been good. Yeah, sorry, you're right, inefficient. They don't use Pat Fryermuth anymore. You have Arthur Smith, who was the head coach for Atlanta last year, who just decided he didn't want to use the number 1 drafted tight end of all time in any sort of offensive scheme. So Pat Fryermuth's worthless. You have George Pickens, who, drafted relatively high, early second-round pick. But then that's it.
But you got to at least use what you have. And I'm watching the game. Justin Fields he's throwing these jump balls to George Pickens, but they're too tall. They're like not even.
Yeah, I mean, he had that problem, and he had that same problem with DJ Moore when he was in Chicago. I fear that you're going to run Russell Wilson out there, and at least Fields can scramble and make plays and be an athlete, and I feel like Russell Wilson's gonna just what that offense was in Denver last year with Russell Wilson was arguably worse than what this offense would look like.
Dude. They had a winning record with refrigerator Big Ben the last couple of years he was there. If they can win with him, they can
Mike
win with Russell
Tomlin.
Wilson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson now is better than Big Ben was the last 3 years he was there.
Dude, I don't think so.
Dude,
I think
do
Russell
you
Wilson might be
forget how
horrible.
bad Ben Roethlisberger was the last
Oh,
2 years he was
dude,
there?
no,
2
no,
or
no.
3 years?
That clip of him saying hi, taking one step to the right, and then falling over nothing
Dude,
lives in my mind for all time.
He could
It's like
barely
Kirk
throw
Cousins.
it 10 yards.
He fell backwards.
No, I just don't think. I'm not saying it'll be worse necessarily than what Fields has, but I am confident it will not be better.
I think you have to at
I
least
think
see. You have to at least see what it looks like. And if it's worse,
maybe
take
I'm
him back
taking-
out.
I just
Yeah.
think that whatever they do over there is bad. There's just nothing on the offensive side that's going to help you, and it sucks because that defense is so good.
I'm taking Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I agree.
Pittsburgh, you can play Najee if you're desperate. You can play Pickens if you're desperate. You can play Fields if you're desperate. Devontae Adams, if you follow us on socials, I said today, go get Devontae Adams in a league if your uneducated league mates aren't paying attention to what's happening, because he's about to get traded to the Jets or the Saints, and his value is going to increase drastically.
And the Raiders came out and said that they were very they would rather trade him sooner than later. So they're motivated to move
We're
him.
talking
It's not like they're going to hold on to him.
Yeah, we're talking like 1 or 2 weeks tops. He's probably gone.
Yeah.
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 So he's not going to play. On the other side of the ball, you've got, well, I guess still the same side of the ball with the Raiders. Brock Bowers is easily the best tight end.
Right now,
Right
probably.
now, he is just nonstop getting fed, and play him all day. Try to get him in a trade if you can trade off some extra depth if someone
luck.
needs. But yeah,
Good luck.
good luck. I
Yeah,
got him
that'll be
and then
hard.
shipped him off. But
You can play like Trey Tucker. He's gotten a decent amount of targets. Not bad. Alexander Madison is the starter now, even though Zamir White was hurt this week. Anthony Pierce, whatever his name was, came out and said that Madison's earned enough to get the starting role and more opportunities, and so he's the receiving back. If nothing else, you want him in there for his opportunity of catching the ball, and White has been horrible when he's played, so it's not a good matchup by any means, but again, if you're super desperate, he plays and he's going to get some catches, so something.
I agree. Alrighty, we're scooting on to 425. Detroit at Dallas. I think Detroit takes it.
Oh, this game better be a shootout. I
I'm
hope.
taking Detroit.
I think it's Detroit.
Yeah,
Play any of your star Detroit players. That's easy.
Confidently.
dude. Honestly, you don't even need to be a star. Like Jamison Williams, I don't know if that's a star. You're still playing him.
Dallas. Rico has become a start 100%. Tolbert has become a flex 100%.
CD
You're
and Dak
playing-
starts.
Yeah.
And you're playing Turd Ferguson.
Yeah.
Ferguson. Yeah, that should be a
Big
good
old
game.
rolling turd
Easy.
coming through.
If
Coming
If
through.
you need advice for that, then you're bad.
Yeah, just
Yeah, but
throw all those
come on.
people in your lineup.
Come on, universe, give us a good game. I want it.
All right, Atlanta against Carolina. Do I do it?
No, dude, no, don't, no.
No, I'm going to take Atlanta. I think,
Taking Big Kirko.
yeah, with Carolina putting Bryce Young back in for some reason.
We're out there high with the crowd, dude.
Kirk, Pitts, London,
Mooney.
Darnell Mooney.
Bijan, Mooney.
Bijan.
Bijan, are we confident?
You
He's
have
been
to-
pretty
if you drafted,
not great.
If you drafted Bijan, you have to play him. I'm assuming.
Yeah, you're taking Bijan. Yeah.
Okay. I get it, but he has not been any better, I don't think, than ETN.
No, I mean, I'd say
But-
if it's me, I am trying to trade him away to somebody else at this point, for name's sake.
Big name. Yeah. Big name.
It's fair.
to try to get something
I'm
else.
holding on to
What could you
Bijan.
what
Or
could
I'm
you get
trading for him.
really? You're confident it's going to turn around?
Yeah.
What do you think if you're on the side that you want to trade him, what do you think you can get for him? What's worth it?
To me,
Like, yeah, let's say you have Bijan, you're going to ship him off. What do you need in return to feel like, okay, I got the steal of the century for this?
probably a wide receiver 1 and a running back 2.
I would say like
Or flip
I'm
that.
thinking
Running back
yeah.
1 and a wide receiver 2.
Okay, but so wide receiver 1, let's just start there. How high of a 1 are we talking?
Bottom half.
Because
Anybody with
Jefferson's out the picture.
no,
Tyreek's not a 1 anymore. Jamar's probably out the picture.
I would do like a James Conner and a Tyreek for Bijan.
yeah.
What about Neighbors?
No.
You think Neighbors is
anybody who has Neighbors
Yeah,
is not trading
nobody's
Neighbors.
I was just saying, no one's gonna.
What about
do that.
Marv?
No one's gonna do that. I think he's too high.
Okay.
I think it would have
Just
to
curious.
be. It would have to be somewhere around. Because at the Tyreek level, you're just trading name for name. You're hoping that one
Yeah.
of those names starts working.
The problem is though that like any wide receiver 1, like Tyreek's not really a 1 right now. Like you're on the cusp of sitting Tyreek Hill.
I did.
My point exactly. So it's not like you're trading
Unfortunately.
for a 1. You're trading for the hope for a 1. But like any 1 that's out there, like Nico's too much probably. AJ Brown's probably too much. CD Lamb's probably too much. Amon Ross too much.
You could
Jefferson,
probably get away
Chase.
with like Stephon Diggs, James Conner.
I think the James Conner Stephon Diggs side is definitely the win, but I think you could probably get someone to do that depending on how their team looks. Because RB is still valuable because it's kind of hard to come by.
Yeah, people just have less of them.
Yeah, and there's so many wide receivers that can get you 15 points a week, which is
right?
It's just playable. I don't know. Chris, who are you taking? Atlanta, Carolina?
I almost just shouted Carolina too, but I don't think there's a chance.
No.
It's gotta be Atlanta.
Whoever's in that game is throwing 2 picks at minimum against.
Yeah.
All right, Sunday night. Bengals at Giants. I'm taking the Bengals, and that's not just because I'm a fan. I genuinely think they win this game, and I don't think it's close. I think it's going to be like 35-20.
All the way.
The problem is who stops Malik Neighbors?
Me.
I'm
about to come in.
I don't
like
think
cornerback.
Can't get any worse.
Cam Taylor-Britt is out there just playing like this.
I don't think they stop. I don't think they stop him. I think Daniel Jones stops
Score.
Neighbors.
Yeah, but Daniel Jones has looked okay. Like it's not been great, but like 2 weeks in a row, he's been like okay.
Yeah.
And this last week in particular, it was without Neighbors.
Okay, but for instance, I know our defense is obviously terrible. They talked about it today. Lou blitzed 41 times against the Ravens. 41 times. Now, you're blitzing 41 times against Lamar. Obviously, Lamar's going to run around in circles and do Lamar things. I don't think Daniel Jones is going to be able to have the same response. There's probably like 5 or 6 plays that Daniel Jones goes down where Lamar is stiff-arming someone.
Capping. Danny Dimes is the man.
He's mobile. He's more mobile than a lot of quarterbacks, but he's not that mobile.
No, I agree. There's that play in particular that like Lamar stiff-armed Sam Hubbard twice and then threw that like across the body thing to Isaiah Likely. Right?
If they double
Daniel Jones doesn't make that.
If they double Neighbors, which they should. If they
won't.
They won't. But if they double Neighbors, then the problem is solved. But they won't.
Play Devin Singletary if he's out there.
Yeah.
Because you just had a game where the Bengals just stopped the run in classic Bengals fashion. This is the time that they will give up like 180 yards to Devin Singletary. So as Bengals fans, we're telling you this is your opportunity to go play.
Yeah, I was just telling Nick before we got on, all of the games, the rest of the Bengals schedule, defense is irrelevant to me. I'm basically just looking at who can the Bengals score more than. And I think the Bengals can score more than the Giants. And that's why I'm picking the Bengals.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You're playing
your star players.
Yeah, Jamar.
It's pretty. Joe.
Zach Moss, Chase Brown in a flex now because he's getting a lot more touches.
Yeah. Gesicki has been serviceable on tight end, but not great.
Yeah.
Eric All is put 3 weeks in a row, I think, at least 2 in a row of at least 4 targets.
Well,
So
there's not a
keep an eye on
chance.
Eric
Yeah.
All.
There's not a chance they re-sign Gasecki. He's gone at the end of his contract. And
Sure.
they,
Yeah. I'm just saying, obviously, if you're in a dynasty, go get Eric All. He's been getting 4 targets a game over the last couple weeks. That's important, especially on an offense like the Bengals, where it is literally the number
We're
one
on
scoring
fire.
offense right now. But to that point, I think even in a redraft, Eric All very well may just kind of work his way in. He was coming off of an injury in the draft, and so we knew it was going to be a slow start for him coming into the season. But I think he, in learning the offense, getting healthier, getting more in shape, very well may just turn into like a very viable option by the end of the season.
good blocker too. He and Drew Sample were the ones that set Jamar free on that huge yards after catch touchdown.
And he almost hurdled a guy.
Almost.
Almost.
So we
Got
all
hit right in the PP.
we're all picking
Sorry.
the Bengals, right?
Yep.
Yep.
No
On
bias.
to the next.
All right, last game of the week we got Bills at Jets. The Jets look horrible. And
I'm taking the
Yeah.
Jets.
I'm also taking the Jets.
I think the Bills right the ship, but there's a big asterisk by that because Josh Allen, I don't know if you guys saw it.
He got knocked out.
He got hit with
Yeah.
the cool bug.
So he came back in the game. He played, but I got to imagine that there's some concussion
double out
protocol.
there.
Yeah, there's got to be some concussion protocol, I would imagine.
Get the coloring books out.
Yeah, he may not play. I don't know. We'll find out. Khalil Shakir may not play again as well with an ankle, but
The Bills
other
just,
than that,
I mean, granted Josh Allen was concussed, but he completed 30% of his passes against the Texans.
Yeah, that was a bad game.
Like,
I'm gonna chalk that one up to the fact that he
Josh
couldn't count to 1. So
sure. I think if Josh is right in the head, you can probably play Shakir.
Yep.
Keon if you're desperate. You're playing Cook.
you're playing Kincaid.
Yeah. On the flip side of that, Jets do not play Aaron Rodgers. He's too inconsistent at this point, I think.
Had to play him because of
still-
buys.
You still got to play Brees.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, you drafted him too high. The problem right now is Braylon Allen. Go get Braylon Allen if you don't have him, by the way, because
Hey,
he's getting
you're
like half the
taking
work.
my segment, buddy.
Oh, my B dog.
Um,
All right, spoiler alerts.
by the way, Brees falls into the same exact category as Bijan for me. I'm trading him away because of his name and trying to flip it for people I can use
Namesake.
right now.
I'm taking him.
Yeah, I'll say Brees. I'm still confident Brees can get it done. I just think it hasn't worked.
Basically, what you got here is I'm losing. So from the losing perspective, if you are losing and you have Brees or Bijan, you need to drop them like a hat and get people you can play. If you're winning
Yeah.
and you have depth, go pick them up and keep them till they're good.
Don't get rid of your good players. They're gonna boom. Wait it out.
You cannot
your
wait it
goal
out.
right now. Your goal right now should not be win the championship. It should be make the playoffs, which then you can get hot at the end of the year.
Okay, I'm not.
That's why you stash guys like Jonathan Brooks.
Yep.
I'm not talking like 2 wins. I was talking like 0-4. Like
I
You're
am
0
0-5
yeah,
in a dynasty league,
Yeah.
and I lost to a guy who had 2 people on IR and 3 people on buys
Yeah,
in
you
his
Can't
starting
tell people
lineup.
this. They're not gonna listen to your advice.
it happens. All right, not everybody.
I had a bunch of buys
I'm
this
5
week
and
too.
0.
Nobody's
So-
perfect. I'm making a comeback. I'm finally starting to right the ship. All right, slowly but surely. That is. Chris took the Bills. Is that who he's taking?
Taking the Bills.
All right, we'll see. That wraps up the matchups, injuries, who we think is going to win, the starts and the sits. Now we will move on to the one and only segment we have so far. I promise we're going to get some bumpers, we're going to get some segments. I'm still working on it. We all have other jobs, people. But, once we become rich and famous and this is our only job, then
Hey, I don't like mine, so get us famous so I can stop doing it.
he hates his job. Everybody,
It's your fault, guys.
let's start a GoFundMe to get Chris out of his job.
Let's go.
But we're going to go on to Nick's picks, where he tells you some
Pick 'em
sneaky
up.
ads on the waiver this week. All right, Nick, take it over.
Starting off, quarterback, Kirk Cousins.
He got a fat
Self
dumpy.
Self-explanatory. Last week, he was 42 for 58, 509 yards, 4 touchdowns. He plays Carolina this week. If you're not picking him up,
It
what are you
might be
doing?
700 yards this week.
You dude's gonna throw like it's a Thanksgiving Day football game.
Dude.
He's gonna torch that.
Do
that
not
team.
say the second one. Do not say that second one.
The second quarterback you need to pick up, Daniel Jones. He plays a weak Cincinnati defense. Last week he was 23 for 34, 257, 2 touchdowns through the air, 38 yards. That was against Seattle's defense, who's good.
Without Malik Neighbors,
Without Malik Neighbors, Cincinnati is. I could play for Cincinnati's defense right now. They're
It's
terrible.
true.
Daniel Jones is a good pickup if you need somebody, if you have a quarterback on a bye or something.
And he gets rushing yards. That's another thing people forget. He can run. He will get rushing yards.
But it's not like insane. It's not like Lamar or anything.
Yeah.
Last pick, if Richardson doesn't play, I'm taking Joe Flacco. He was 33 for 44 last week, 359 yards and 3 touchdowns. But all this being said, if Richardson plays, obviously don't play Flacco. But Flacco is manageable. He'll get you a good 20 points probably. But nothing flashy. He might not win you weeks, but he's not going to lose you weeks. That's quarterbacks. Anything you two would like to say?
No, I like it.
Don't play Daniel Jones.
To play Daniel Jones if you need to.
Running back. We give you honest opinions here. We're not biased.
Yeah. Running back, Tank Bigsby. Easily the number one ad you should be looking at. He is so efficient right now. In the 3 games he's played, he looks way better than ETN. Last game he had 13 attempts for 101 yards and 2 touchdowns. And ETN is banged up right now. His shoulder, whatever's going on, it's not working. So Tank Bigsby right now is playable, and it's probably only going to get better for him. Tyrone Tracy Jr. for the Giants. This is if Devin Singletary's out. He had 18 attempts for 129 yards last game. If Singletary plays, don't pick him up. But he's a good stash if Singletary doesn't play, especially because he's playing Cincinnati's defense. You don't love to say that as a Cincinnati fan, but
play whoever you got against them.
Yeah. Next pickup, Roshan Johnson. He's seeing almost all the goal line work in Chicago. Every once in a while, you'll see
Swift 2 or 3 weeks.
There.
It seems like in a row.
Yeah, he's basically a good. He's a touchdown machine. Like, eventually, he looks like he might be able to edge out DeAndre Swift a little bit, but he's a good stash if you have room for him.
David Montgomery.
Yeah, last running back, Braylon Allen. We've said him before. Brees looks yucky. So does Braylon Allen. They're kind of basically splitting at this point. He's a good handcuff. And Braylon Allen's at least getting some receiving work. Brees is still getting some, but it's like Braylon Allen's getting like 2 or 3 targets a game. And he looks a little bit better right now, but I'm not trusting that to be that's a stash if you have a deep league and you have room for him, or you need a handcuff. On to wide receivers, number 1 target you should be going after is Jalen Tolbert. He had 7 catches on 10 targets. That was against the Steelers. He had the game-winning touchdown, and he's just any wide receiver 2 on the Cowboys is a good option, especially with Cooks out. He's on the IR right now, so Jalen Tolbert should be your number 1 ad. Number 2 ad, Josh Downs, if Flacco is playing. He, in the last 2 weeks, he's had 12 targets and 9 targets, and that's with Flacco. Flacco is the key to the offense. If Richardson's playing, don't take Josh Downs. You can pick him up, but I wouldn't play him. If Flacco's playing, Josh Downs should be in your lineup somewhere. Michael Wilson of the Cardinals, the last 3 games, he's had 9 targets, 7 targets, and 6 targets.
Wilson!
Kyler seems to like him when Marv can't get open. Only problem with Michael Wilson is he's not catching a lot of the balls, but he's getting the targets. So they could be garbage targets, but I mean it's good to look at.
A lot of his catches
Um,
do seem to be like big plays, not like so
yeah,
much check downs. It's like
yeah.
40-yard catches, 60-yard bombs,
So you're kind of
big
hoping
type stuff.
the Cardinals are just a high-powered offense, score a lot of points. He's gonna catch a touchdown maybe. Last wide receiver is Jordan Whittington of the Rams. He had 10 targets last week, 7 catches, 89 yards. Right now, the Rams have nobody to throw to except for Jordan Whittington and Kyron Williams maybe. But Whittington definitely looks like Stafford's number one guy, while Puka and Cooper Kupp are out.
Something to know
Sean
with that.
McVay,
Wait, you need to know they are on bye this week. So
correct.
that's a
But he's
stash. And
but he's a stash.
Cooper Kupp may be coming back after the bye.
Sean McVay said he's hopeful, but it's not. We'll see. It's
Yeah.
Cooper. We'll see. That's it for wide receivers. Tight end. I have Zach Ertz on here. He had 8 targets in the last game. He only had 2 catches though, but he's getting targets.
That's all you care about.
He's a target hog on a really good offense right now. They're kind of killing it. What?
Whoa.
Yeah. And then
Wow.
the last tight end is Tyler Conklin. In the last 3 games, he's seen 6 targets, 8 targets, and 9 targets. And Aaron Rodgers is just slinging that thing right now. They are not running the ball because both running backs are poopy duty buns. And right now, Tyler Conklin for the Jets is kind of the target heavy guy. The probably the second receiver for behind Garrett Wilson. So
Derek Carr. Wee woo wee woo wee woo wee woo. Alert time. Derek Carr headed the medical tent.
no,
Obviously, we hope that Derek
bubble
Carr is
guts.
okay, but this might be good for their offense.
This has a lot of effects. I don't know what happened, but you're putting in probably a rookie quarterback in Spencer Rattler, I'm assuming. 1, so I don't know what that looks like. And 2, again, we're gonna keep talking about it. Devontae Adams. If he's hurt, I don't know that he wants to go to the Saints if Derek Carr's not the guy, so we'll see.
Is this another update here? Because I'm sick of this crap. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of this crap. Rant number 2 of the night. Patrick Mahomes, 316 yards, no touchdowns, 1 pick. Can't possibly be leading the MVP race at this point. He cannot possibly be leading the MVP race. I get his team is 5-0. He is playing the most mediocre football of his life. I get he has played good football before. I understand. I hate him as a player. I get that. Let's put it all aside. But right now, he's playing mediocre football as a quarterback. Since when can a quarterback sit in the pocket, throw for 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, and be considered worse than that? Because he's going to roll out of the pocket and makes one good backyard football play. Now we just drool all over him, and we think he's at the front runner of the MVP race. This is ridiculous.
Who is your front runner of the MVP race?
Joe Burrow. I said it.
Well,
I said it last week. I said it again this week. If Joe Burrow has 2 wins unanimously across the league, he's MVP. No doubt.
I think
he's leading all the categories.
You're right. Yeah, he's like first in yards. He's like tied for 3rd in touchdowns, tied for 3rd in completion percentage, tied for 3rd in like attempts. I mean, dude's balling. But obviously, 0-5 doesn't help the case. Yeah, it doesn't, or whatever. 1-5 doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't help your cause. If I have to pick one person, it's hard not to say a guy like Sam Darnold right now.
He had a stinker of a performance this week, so that.
Yeah, but again, you offensively like 5-0, you look good, and like in comparison to Mahomes, like right now,
we
he
can
looks
at
better.
least agree Sam Darnold is better than Mahomes right now.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
100%.
If Mahomes is if the standard is records and then accolades, then they have the same record as the Chiefs, but Darnold's yards, touchdowns, those are better.
If I'm not allowed to pick Joe Burrow because of his record, I'm taking Lamar at this point. Like,
Stroud.
he did pretty crazy
or
week this week.
Stroud. Yeah, like either of those
That's
two
mine.
are eons above Patrick Mahomes at this point,
Yeah.
and they just
Yeah.
I can't handle it anymore. I can't. I'm gonna lose my mind. All right,
I'm gonna lose.
I
I'm
pulled up
breaking
the game
marbles.
because I saw the injury report, and then I saw his stat line. And I'm like, okay, still doesn't have a touchdown. I needed to lose my mind for a minute.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that wraps up our show for the week. Please join us next week. Hopefully, we will be on time. We don't know if we'll be on time. That's just
Figure it out. We do what we want.
That's just the goal. Remember, I'll remind you again, Spotify for podcasts. We're trying to get on Apple, YouTube, shorts and long form video, Instagram, Twitter. We're not on Facebook.
Yeah, we're not 900 years old.
TikTok.
Yeah, what are we? Dinosaurs?
TikTok. You can find us.
Check us out on MySpace, please.
You can find us in any of those places. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Peace.